computer. Perfect. Okay, so welcome to tonight's training. Obviously, my name is Claire Rafferty, and I am an area manager. I've been in Arbonne now for just over a year, and basically tonight I want to talk to you guys just to help you get a little bit more giddy and a little bit more fired up just about this incredible business, this ridiculous opportunity, and just simply how you yourself are frigging mega. So before we do jump in tonight, I just want to quickly mention that we have the product event tomorrow night on the Product Extravaganza page. So if you haven't seen it yet or you don't know anything about it yet, it's at 7:30 p.m. and we've got 3 speakers each doing 10 minutes and that are basically going to showcase our Christmas range and our Christmas line. So if you can get on and you can interact, that would be absolutely amazing. Also, if you want to invite anyone to the event and the page, let's message after this tonight or message me tomorrow if there's someone you think you want to invite, and we can just chat over those message templates again. Make sure that you do get kind of proofed message template before you start inviting someone into the Product Extravaganza page, because we do not want it to be spammy. As a general, it's anyone who you've maybe spoke to about products before, or anyone that you've sold to this year who isn't in the group, or anyone who has asked questions or interacted with you about products at all. So we want them in this group so that they're seeing the Christmas range and they're getting the kind of full benefits of what it can do and what gifts they can give this year. And we really do want to try and get a huge hype on it. So that's tomorrow night, Wednesday at 7:30. And it's on the Product Extravaganza page. If you have any issues with getting into that page, let us know and we can make sure that you are in it, because some people are very new and probably don't even know that page exists yet. So we need to get you on that page and understanding what it's all about. It's such a great platform to help build your business, and people can learn about the products kind of in that video format, which we know so many people love interacting with. And then also, like, November is our biggest month in business, like it is our biggest month in Arbonne. So we really do want to be pushing it this month and really just boosting our own kind of business, our name, our brand, our sales, and really getting things out there. So really utilize this page, because it will absolutely help you rocket your sales this month and really make the most of it. So that's the kind of like housekeeping. Please, everyone, take note, and it'd be lovely to see you tomorrow night at 7:30 on the page. Otherwise, tonight we're going to start talking about your why, and then we're going to see how we can build your vision so that your vision is so big that nothing can distract you and nothing can throw you off your path. So you're all in this because you've said yes. So some of you've said yes this week, or literally some of you've said yes today, which is absolutely incredible. And obviously you're watching the recording back, so it's like I said yes yesterday. But anyway, some of you have been in this a few months, and some of you like literally have been here up to a year, because obviously I've been here a year and some of you started at the same time as me. So I want you to think back, and I want you to take a moment and just think about the first time you heard about this business. So when you heard the concept of network marketing, when you learn about the products, when your mentor was super passionate and explained the power of Arbonne to you, do you remember that moment and what made you in that moment there and then say yes to that person and say yes to this opportunity? So what was that gut feeling, if you can think back, that made you think, I need this because this can change my life because? And if you can remember right now, I know we all have pens and paper when we show up to training. So I want you to write down, like, if you take a second and think back, like, what was that initial reason that made you say yes to this? And if you can't really remember the initial reason, which is fine, like my initial reason I'll go on to in a second, I had to actually like spend some time and think about why actually did I say yes to this in the first place. So if you can't think of something just now and you're like pressure on the spot, just think of the first thing that comes to your mind as to why are you doing this business right now, and what is the kind of main thing that's kind of always been your hook, and you go back to, I said yes to Arbonne because, like, when you're telling people your story, like, and you understood the business, the brand and everything that it had, like, what was the thing that made you say yes to this insane business and opportunity? So hopefully you've got something written down, because I've teased that out as much as I can. If not, keep writing and then we're going to move on. So when you don't really know Arbonne and when you're in the very early stages of learning what is possible, your why is what I like to call surface level. So A surface level why might be, I want to make an additional X amount per month. I want to cover the cost of my childcare. I want to take the trip of a lifetime. I want a fancy gym membership and I don't want it to feel like a stress or an expense. I want to stop having to do overtime. Like whatever that initial why is, that is what motivates you in the first week or maybe even a little bit longer. So if you start to get some good responses from your network and you're feeling positive and then this is so much fun work state, then you will ride that surface level why for a few weeks, maybe even a full month. However, that surface level why wears thin. And after the first few weeks, it kicks in and you maybe start to have to look at sacrificing things in your life. And you maybe start to say, oh, Arbonne's getting in the way of having to do this. And you're starting to have to make decisions around, what's going to get put to the back of your list and what's going to come to the forefront of your list. And quite often you find that Arbonne ends up the very last thing on that to-do list and it ends up the thing at the very end of the day. So it starts to lose its priority. And all of a sudden, the overtime that you're going to have to do doesn't seem so bad. Believe me, I have been there. I've done the whole overtime thing because it's quick cash and it's easy and it's a quick fix. Also that £100 a month, like you start to say, well, I can actually do without it. Like I could just cut this, and this. I don't really need that additional income per month. And you start to get to a place where you're like, oh, that trip of a lifetime, like I don't really need to go anytime soon. Like, oh, I can't go anytime soon anyway. I'm just going to push it off and I'm just going to go in 2 years down the line. And we start to get into a kind of negative place in our minds where we're like all of these things that we wanted start to get pushed aside and we start to make excuses within ourselves as to why we don't really need them anymore. People start to give you opinions and you realize that it takes a consistent amount of effort every single day to make this business work, and you realize that you are going to have to get uncomfortable. Now this is where most people start to pull back and they decide it's not for me, this is too much, and it would be easier just to stay the same. So the reality is being a winner is hard, but failing is also hard. And every single day we get to decide like which level of hard do we want. So would you rather work hard to build something that can truly transform your life, or would you rather stay feeling stuck in your current hard situation where you're unfulfilled and seeking more constantly? Because both options are hard and you have to decide which hard are you willing to live to get that why and to get that vision. So when we begin to make excuses because we lack the discipline to do the hard work it takes, we often retreat and begin to accept our current situation as just life. Like we resist the change and fear sets in. So if you haven't read The Chimp Paradox by Professor Steve Peters, I highly suggest you do. So I read it probably 2016 and then again in the beginning of the kind of March, let's call it lockdown, and I read it earlier this year and I took so much more from it the second time around. And he talks about our brain as how it's in three parts and how we all have a computer inside of us that's constantly resisting change. And there is something deep down inside all of us, like whether it's from childhood and learned behaviors, that we just can't push through. And we have to learn to grow and adapt and answer the hard questions to understand that these learned behaviors and overcome our personal obstacles to make that change that we actually want in our lives. So when it comes to your why and all of this, it's so easy at times to justify our why is not that important. We get comfortable and we are like, nah, we don't need more, because this part of our brain kicks in and it's like, you've survived so long without all of these other things. So why would you need them? You don't need them. And it makes us sabotage ourselves and it makes us sabotage our success. So if in all this you lose sight of your why, it is simply not strong enough. It is not significant enough to transform your life. And therefore you allow the surface level why to disappear and you quit on yourself. Now, often you hear people say, your why should make you cry. Now, I do not believe this. Like, I think it's something that people often throw around without really thinking about, because your why could be a really joyful thing as well. And I believe your why should make you work rather than make you cry. So no matter what it is that's thrown in your direction, the vision and the goal that you have is so intense that nothing will stop you in your tracks. So the why is so strong, you know that in your life, you have no alternative but to do the work and grow to create the change. Something I often do with my business clients when we are looking at their why is the 7 levels deep why. So if you've never heard of this, don't freak out. Okay. Some of you won't be ready to do this yet, and that's completely okay. Like, don't feel the pressure to start doing these things until you are ready. Everything we give you is just advice, and it's about choice. But some of you will be ready to start to really dive into your proper why and actually start to take note of this task and implement it, not just in Arbonne, but in other areas of your life, because it's such a really empowering task that you can do. And it is so, so simple, but it works. And the main thing is it works. And that's what's absolutely incredible about it. So you literally just ask why for 7 levels deep is what we call it. So you'll have that surface level reason, and you have to just think about, well, why do you want that surface level answer? You'll get another answer, and you basically just keep asking yourself why up to 7 times until you get to that kind of deeper at your core, like, this is the reason that you have no choice but to do this business, to get this why, to make it work. So as I said, like, I'll share my why I started Arbonne. So I started Arbonne as I wanted to move flats. I absolutely hated the flat I was in, and to make up into a nicer flat, I was like, in my head, I need to bring in about another £400 a month. So in my head, I was like, I'm moving flat. And when I signed up to Arbonne, I literally signed the lease on the new flat pretty much in the same week. And I was like, I now have to make this work. And for me, that's a driver for me, and that's a goal for me. And that really helped me get into that busy work state. And that gave me that really strong why and purpose, because I had no choice but to make Arbonne work in that initial stage. Now, once I got into that stage, I was now obviously a year in. And for me, Arbonne is now something completely, completely different. It now allows me to help others, and it allows me to help see them grow. So I personally get the most fulfillment from seeing someone else do well. And that's something that I've learned within myself, is that I am very much now about other people. Now, don't get me wrong, it's also a vehicle for me to not do any more overtime. And it's also a vehicle that allows me to be fully, fully flexible, and, have decisions around my job and what I actually do, because I no longer have to do that over time. But for me, it's more about that fulfillment for others. So I want you to really get clear on your why. If that's the only thing you get from this whole session, is like, why are you doing this? And what is it that's making it tick within you? Like, what sets that fire in your soul, and what makes you feel good about doing this business? And until you can understand that feeling, it's just going to be a hobby, another thing on the side. So once you've done it, if you can write fast, you can write this down. Otherwise, make up your own variation of what I'm about to say. But a really good statement that I say every morning, and I actually write it down. Sometimes I say it out loud. Most of the time I do write it down now. And it's, today, I am committed to working my business because it allows me to. And then you need to fill in that statement. So today I am committed to working my business because it allows me to. Now, with that statement, I want you to write in the present tense. So I want you to write as if you've already achieved that why. It allows me to go on 5 holidays a year. It allows me to work completely from home. It allows me to stay connected with my family. It allows me to raise my children. Whatever it is, I want you to write it in the present tense as if you already have it. And then at the end of that, you're just going to say, I will take the inspired action and I am growing. So today I am committed to working my business because it allows me to. Your reason. I will take the inspired action and I am growing. And you just need to keep saying it over and over, writing it down every morning, every night, whenever works for you, and really start to believe that why and let it invest within you. Because once you really start to believe it, that belief in yourself and in Arbonne and in the network marketing industry starts to grow and get stronger. And if you believe you can make this work, and if you believe in Arbonne and you believe in the network marketing industry and the success of the industry as a whole, then you will start to really believe that why and believe in yourself and build that vision. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in Arbonne and you don't believe in the network marketing industry, then you need to maybe get on more trainings, you need to get reading more books, you need to work on yourself, and you maybe need to seek a little bit more health and more personal growth to allow you to kind of build that belief and to build that why, so that you have that powerfulness within yourself and you build that vision to grow. So if you're new to this, you're going to be like surface level for a while, and that is completely okay. I just want you to know that you have to start somewhere, and you can actually just start by building your vision. So we all need to grow our vision, even me. So many of us are trapped in a state where we're scared to dream big, and we're scared to let ourselves say, what if this was possible? And I want you to dream big. Like, I really want you to push those boundaries, and I want you to push those limits, and I want you to get so invested in what you're trying to do here that you can grow. Because what's going to happen is the bigger you push those limits, the more they're going to scare you, the deeper that why becomes, but then the more you grow. And it is all a cycle, and it all links together. And every time you push out of that comfort zone and get closer to your next vision, then it grows even more. And that's the beauty of personal development, and it's the beauty of Arbonne. So most of you will have seen the Maui video, and if you haven't seen the Maui video on YouTube, I want you to go on and just watch it's like 2.5 minutes, and it's just a really good place to start to build your vision. So when I was going for area, I literally watched the video every single day for 2 months, like 60 days non-stop. Every time before I ran a team training, I put it on. Whenever I was doing a call, I put it on. Whenever I was feeling low or sluggish, I put it on. Like, I got so obsessed with that video that it just made me feel good, but it just kept that vision alive inside me and reminded me of what I personally want to achieve with this. Because I really struggled to build my vision in Arbonne at the beginning, and not because I couldn't dream. Believe me, I'm a dreamer. I know how to dream really big, but I struggled to see how Arbonne could actually give me that life. And I really struggled to absorb myself enough in the trainings. So I had to go over and above and go into the trainings and go into the SoundClouds and actually really start to look at the personal lives of people at the top of the company that I could associate myself with. So I fully accepted that it would be hard and it would require grit and resilience and discipline, but I still really didn't see that that was possible for me. And like, I couldn't believe that I could actually have that and I was worthy of that lifestyle. So this is where not only getting clear on your why is so important, but also upping my belief in myself came into it. And then seeing how incredible this business is for others, but also to up the belief in ourselves that we can achieve and we will grow. So a task that I really love to do, and if you've never done this one, it really helps you with building your vision. So I wrote out 25 things that I want to do in the next 5 years. So I sat down with a few of the girls after we'd written it, and we all shared. And something that I really learned from this was that we are all so unique in what we want. And I really surprised myself when I heard what they wanted, at how much I'd actually lowballed myself and how I'd actually made my dreams a lot smaller. So what I realized when I read the list out and I really looked at it is it was all things that I could probably achieve within the next year, 18 months, 2 years most. And this is when I realized like my vision could even be bigger. Now, there's a quote from Tony Robbins: people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can do in 5. And that really rung true for me, because it is so true. Like, after I provisionally wrote out this list, I sat down and I did a 5-year plan. And when I did my 5-year plan, and then you start at 5 years and you work back to see what you're going to do, and you put that plan in place. And as I worked back, I realized like I got to the 3 years working back, and I was like basically where I am right now. And I was like, I'm still not dreaming big enough. So you really do need to kind of invest in that in yourself and do the work that you need to do to really understand what you're capable of and what is possible, because you can literally do and have anything you want in this world. So if you've never done a 5-year plan, you obviously want to check out the Wheel of Life, and basically you want to consider your career, your relationship, social, your health, your financial, your spiritual, and your personal growth. And you want to look at these 7 different areas, and you just want to go through them all and understand like where you want to be in 5 years time. So for me to build my vision, I now have on my screensaver on my laptop that changes every day, an image of each of those 7 things. So 7 days in the week, Monday, Tuesday, whatever, each day it changes, and I have a different one on each of the days. It's absolutely great. I open up my laptop and it's Monday, and now on a Monday, I get to see what my career is going to look like. And it's just something that I've done that's fun for myself because I'm on my computer a lot. I also have it on my home screen, on my lock screen, on my phone. I have it up on my walls. I have so much stuff everywhere: visions boards, goals, post-it notes. Like, I have dates next to absolutely everything, which is so important. Like, build your vision, but also build the dates into that vision so that you make it a reality, and know when you're going to get it for. And that's one of the biggest things that I've found has helped me with all of this, is making sure that I'm explicit on my dates and I start to affirm I'm going to have this by this date. So whatever it is that you need to do for you, like what is going to work for you? So have you got goals that are so clear in your head that if I unmuted you right now and said, hey, what do you want in 5 years' time from this business in your life? You'd be like, I want this, Claire. This is me. This is what I want. This is what I know. It doesn't need to be crazy, big and huge. It just needs to be for you. I also allow myself to snoop a few minutes in the morning and in the evening on some Instagram accounts that I find inspiring, but also I find relatable to me. But the big thing here is you're not comparing, you're not judging, and you are believing that you can have what they can have. If you start to look at accounts and you start to compare yourself, like unfollow that person, step aside from it. You want to look at these people and you want to see them as an inspiration for you, and they want to make you feel good about your life. So I sit and I look at things like the car I want, the houses I want. I go for walks in the area that I want to live. I buy passes to gyms that I want to have full memberships for. I treat myself whenever I do good, and I really remind myself that there is plenty more where that came from. And you need to just start to build that vision and understand that there's always more out there. So the big thing right now, it can seem pretty challenging to build our vision. And it is hard when we are feeling low or sad to pull ourselves up and really crack on. But please, please, please remember, this is 1 year of our lives, and it's a year where everything has changed. So no one could have anticipated the giant pause. None of us have lived through this before, and none of us are probably ever going to live through anything like it again. And we're all learning together. Arbonne literally is the gift that keeps on giving for us this year. And I wish you could all see how vastly different my life is now and the person I've become in the last year, simply from saying yes to this business and committing 80% over the last 12 months. Now, we can all feel stuck and like there isn't much end in sight right now. And it can feel really challenging because, you know, right now is not forever, but we get trapped in this statement that we do feel like this is forever. And I just want you to get clear on what that 5-year vision looks like for you, because as I said, this is not forever. And whilst we all need this pause and this reset, we also need to waken up and realize that what we have is the power to change. And you already said yes to this. You fell in love with the idea and you fell in love with the brand. So it's now time for you to commit to your life and what you want for you. So your family, your future, like start to think about these things. We have the power to help others transform their lives, and you can build your vision so big and believe it so strongly that no one can tear you down. But the thing is, only you can do it. People always tell me I'm mad, and people always judge my goals and they roll their eyes at me, but they're not in this. They're not in this circle, and they're not doing what we're doing. They don't understand it. So you can't care about what they think. You can only care about the people that are out there playing in the field with you, what their opinions are. And they people will not pull you down. They people will build you up and push you forward. So when you work on your why so much and you build your vision so much that you start to believe in yourself, you'll achieve exactly what you want, and you will start to get this. So summary, because we need to go, is know your surface why. Why did you say yes? So when you were ready to start to break this down and ask yourself up to 7 times, why did you do this? And really get to that core reason that drives you and sets your soul on fire. The other thing is, in the meantime, if you're not ready to do that just yet, you can still start to build your vision. So where is your vision lacking? Do you need to go through the wheel of life? Do you need to look at these 7 areas? Do you really need to start to look at 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, however far down the line you want to go? Are you thinking too small? And do you really need to plan and dream bigger? Like, what is going to work for you to help you build that vision? And then lastly, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in Arbonne, and do you believe in the network marketing industry? And if you don't, you need to start to do a little bit more work in yourself, in Arbonne, and in the industry as a whole, to really build that belief so that your why and your vision can come into fruition. Remember, this is up to you, and you are already showing up by watching this training. So it's now time to step up. Fair's fair. Alrighty, there's loads of people in the waiting room that have just popped up.